There was a boy who loved to draw. One day his mother brought his grandfather with white hair back home. From then on, they had to live with the grandfather. The boy wanted to shake hands with his grandfather, but the grandfather did not react. The boy gradually realized that this grandfather was not the one he knew. He looked sad, rarely spoke, and always stared blankly into space, as if his soul was not in his body. The mother didn't allow the boy to watch cartoons anymore. The TV always had to be tuned to the news channel for the grandfather to watch. The mother would flip through old photo albums in front of the grandfather, trying to evoke his memories of the past. But the old man showed no response and even refused to look. This made the mother cry and made the young boy feel the sadness in the house. One day, the boy found a photo of the grandfather as a young boy missing a tooth, holding an ice cream in front of an old car. The boy had a sudden idea and drew the scene on the back of the photo. The moment when the grandfather saw the car for the first time, his expression full of surprise. Hours later, the grandfather noticed the drawing left by the boy on the ground, picked it up, and was somehow reminded of the long-forgotten memory. This was the moment he saw a kind old car and was immediately fascinated by it. The next day, the boy found another old photo of the grandfather riding a bicycle with his friends, and he drew another perspective on the back. After the boy left, the grandfather surprisingly picked up the photo and recalled the joy of riding with his friends. The boy continued his attempts. He found a photo of the grandfather with his grandmother and drew the expression of the grandfather falling in love at first sight with his grandmother on the back. The boy showed it directly to the grandfather, who remembered the first date with his deceased wife. This time, the old man finally smiled at his grandson. With the boy's daily reminders, the grandfather began to pick up the pieces of his life. His last days were no longer filled with sadness and emptiness. One late night, the grandfather fell ill and urgently wanted to go out, as if he had dreamt of something urgent. The mother had a hard time persuading him to come back home. The boy quickly took out the photo album and showed the grandfather a picture. The grandfather with his wife and newborn daughter, with a drawing of him holding the crying baby on the back. This made him remember the scene when he first became a father and saw his daughter. After seeing his daughter in front of him, the grandfather finally recognized her and slowly held her hand. Sometime later, when the boy returned home from school, there was no sound of the TV and no snoring in the room. Looking at the empty couch, the boy realized that the grandfather had passed away. The boy was sad for a long time. During this period, he couldn't draw anything. When he went to watch TV and held the remote that now belonged only to him, it always stayed on the news channel. The mother noticed her son's sorrow and took out the photo album, showing him a picture. The young grandfather painting. It turned out that the grandfather also loved to draw. He loved to draw because it conveyed emotions, and what could make a person with Alzheimer's recall the past was the fireworks of emotions. The boy could start drawing again, and he planned to keep drawing. This is a true story about lost memories and enduring memories.